In this scenario, we will go through a single guest seat at one of our tables. Let's go through this process. We would touch on the screen to select tables or click tables, and at this point we would enter our cashier number on the virtual keypad or swipe our employee card. This will take us into our tables screen where we can seat a guest. We do have several single seat options here as bar stools. We do have some 2, 4, and 6 seat tables available. I'm going to go ahead and choose one of our booth tables. And as we can see, the expected head count for our booth is 4. However, I can override this and choose any number of guests to seat at this table. In this case, I'll go ahead and choose 1. As we're using our customer database today, at this point, I would scan in one of my guests into this particular transaction. Within our customer panel, we can see the customer's name, information about any accounts they have available, as well as a custom field that's been set up to show allergies. We can also see a customer image in the customer panel. All of these pieces of information are customizable in the customer database section of our back office. At this point, I'm going to add a couple of items into this transaction. And as we can see, the items that are appearing in this transaction are going in as black entry. What this means is these items have been put into the transaction. However, they have not yet been fired to the kitchen to prepare these items. I can still remove items from this screen if we wish. The difference being once the items are fired, we would need to process them as a void instead of a remove. And often voids require a manager override in order to complete. I'm going to go ahead and choose to exit at this point. And what we see is that we've got one person seated at this booth, but we can see that the seating icon has changed to show seated individuals, indicating that this booth is now occupied. Within our seats, we'll see image changes like this to reflect a seated table, or we'll see color change. In the case of bar stools, these would change from green into red. Now, once I go back into this transaction, we can see the items in this transaction have turned gray. This is indicating that these items have been sent to the kitchen printer to be fired and to be prepared for this guest. So once the food items have been brought out to the guest, depending on the configuration that's been set up for your tables in the back office, you may need to provide a print of bill before you can proceed to taking a payment. So in this case, I'll choose to do a print bill on this transaction. And if I exit back to my main tables screen, we can see a bill has been presented at this table. When I return into my transaction, at this point, I'm going to go ahead now and accept payment for this transaction. Any standard payments that are applicable would be available, cash or credit. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose on account as we're working with a guest part of our customer database. So what we can see is that the declining accounts and the alcohol accounts have been charged these amounts of money. However, we do have a remaining balance, which I am going to cash out. And now this transaction will be completed, and when I choose to exit, I'm provided with an opportunity to close my table. And by closing my table, that will be allowing us to seat the next set of guests. I can also choose to cancel at this point, and this table will remain seated. This is an opportunity for guests to maybe finish a drink or a dessert before moving off for the rest of their day. However, the transaction has been paid for, and we can see this indication with this payment money bag appearing on the table. Once the guest has decided to leave, I can go ahead and choose to close my table by choosing the Close Table button and selecting a table to close. I get the same screen back up again in order to clear the table at this point. So I do have an option to modify the table. If the guests wish to purchase additional items at this point, they can do so, or I can clear the table anticipating the next seating. This screen, which we saw automatically pop up when I accepted payment and exited the first time, can be configured in the back office as an automatic pop-up as well. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and choose to clear the table, which is opening it up for my next seating. In our next video, we will look at how we manage multiple transactions within a single table.